Okie dokie, it is day 36 of overcoming my ankle injury. I guess it's about time I show you what I actually do to overcome my ankle injury. And so, if you don't know yet, I am injured in my ankles from running too much. Basically, it's an overuse injury. And on both sides in my ankles, I am feeling pain. Now, recently I noticed that's because basically when I stand up straight, my ankles are going inside a little bit, especially on the left side. And the left side is where I feel it the most at the moment. So basically, in order to overcome my injury, I have to make my ankles stronger than before, because then they will be able to support my body properly and be able to run properly. So in order to do that, I have about 4 to 5 exercises, I think, that I will show you that I basically not do don't do on a daily basis, but pretty much like one of these exercises at least I will do every day, right? And most of the days I will do a little bit more, right? So anyway, the staple that I actually do every day is inside ankle rotation. So I take a band, I put my foot inside it, and then basically I, put my foot on the ground and I start rotating internally. And I put my hand here inside of my ankle to basically make sure that the muscles are working. So I think that's 10. Usually I go for high rep, and yeah, by high rep I mean like 50. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, I believe. I'm just gonna start counting because otherwise I lose count, and then afterwards I will give some pointers. All right, so some pointers for this exercise as well. If you're not careful, you're gonna be using the inside of your leg rather than your ankle to actually rotate inside, and that's why I put my fingers here right under this bone, and you have some muscles there where you focus on giving your foot away, so rotating your foot outwards and then pulling it back, right? And you're pulling back from like the toe area. So my big toe, I'm trying to pull it in the opposite direction, and by doing so I am able to activate the muscles here in between. So that's exercise number one. I basically do this on a daily basis right after I'm done running, and it acts as well strengthening, but also the warm up for the other exercises that I'm about to do. So the weather is way too nice. I'm gonna head outside and do the remainder of the exercises. Okay, for exercise number two, it's gonna look like I'm doing absolutely nothing, but in fact I am. So it's called a short foot hold, and basically it's a balance exercise where you stand on one foot and then you try to have the 3 points in your foot. I will show this in close up. Your toe, your big toe, your small toe, and your heel. You try to pull them as closely as possible. So I'm gonna do this and then I'll show you in close up what I actually mean. Okay, so for the short foot hold, I'm basically taking the points on the ball of my foot and trying to pull it as closely as possible to my heel. And by doing so, I will kind of activate the arch in my foot. And what's important is that you don't curl your toes like this, but really, apply the pressure from the ball of your foot, right here. And then if you do that, right, you will see now I'm not doing it. And if I do, you will start to see that my muscles in the foot are activating, and I'm kind of activating the arch in my foot, and I hold this for 2 sets of 30 seconds on each side. Okay, third exercise that I'm doing is just some balancing on my tiptoes, and I'm just going to show you the close-up immediately, but basically I am going to balance using a straight leg for a couple seconds, well, 20 seconds, and then I will switch my sides. I will do that for 2 sets, and then I will also do 2 sets of bent leg balance like this. So, yeah, this just activates all of the muscles around your ankle, great for stabilization, and yeah, let's go. Okay, so for all of the other exercises, I pretty much found them online, trying to, just looking up how I can heal an inside ankle injury. This one, however, I didn't look up. I've kind of just probably not invented it myself. Probably other people have been doing this as well, but I figured I want to make sure my ankle goes, well, not inside, but stabilizes and goes upright, right? And so if I want to focus on that, how can I force my ankle to do this? Basically, by pulling to the opposite side, because if I pull to the opposite side, I will, force my ankle to resist it, right? And go like this naturally. So what I do is I take this band and I wrap it around my ankle. Again, I don't know. I just tried this myself and it felt good, so I do this now. But I place my foot and then I try to balance. But I'm just balancing, but also I have to resist now so that I can keep myself upright. So I do this for like 20 seconds. Okay, next up is calf raises, and these are going to be very simple. I just place my feet on a bit of a higher place, and then I put a tennis ball in between my ankles. And this is kind of a progression where you focus on squeezing the tennis ball, and this also makes sure that you activate the right muscles, in the calf. And basically, having strong calves will give you stronger ankles as well. So, sometimes I do single leg ankle raises. Sometimes I do two legs like this, but the single leg stuff is when basically I am not on a recovery day. And today, well, I'm doing all of these rehab exercises for recovery purposes. But usually I only pick like two or three exercises and then, I can decide to do single leg calf raises as well. But anyway, I kind of like to do high reps on these, so I'm gonna do two sets of 25 mixed with another type of calf raise as well. So let's go. All right, that's 25, and then I'm gonna superset. I'm gonna superset with bent leg calf raises like this, or I guess I should go like this, right? But I don't do them like this. I actually go into a squat and then I try to raise my ankles as high as possible. This is very difficult, but once I'm done with this set, I just feel my calves, but also my shins burning. And afterwards, my ankle is always less. It's not bending to the inside as much anymore. So very much like this exercise. Ah, that burns so much. Ah. I don't know if you can see this, but there is like an immediate difference between how much I'm bending inside with my ankles right now compared to before. So I really like these bent arm, these not bent arm, bent leg quad calf raises. Yeah. Okay, so the last exercise is gonna be pogo jumps, and basically this exercise is an exercise where you just jump in place, and usually I try to aim for three sets of 30 seconds to 60 seconds. Today I'm gonna keep it at two sets because again I've been doing all of the exercises where usually I pick two or three. But anyway, this exercise is useful because well you're jumping with 2 feet all the time, and so the frequency is very high. It's a very high speed, and you're teaching your ankles to basically rapidly absorb some shocks. Whereas when you're running, it's 1 foot at a time. So you're basically absorbing shocks at twice the rate compared to running, and this really prepares your ankle for the running department as well. So that's what I've been doing lately. I don't do these every day because I think it's more shocks in addition to running. So I try to use it only a couple times a week. But basically, the first progression is again, you put the tennis ball and you squeeze it, and it acts as kind of a stabilizer. And then you just jump in place for a minute. And at first, you will feel it quite heavily in your quads and your glutes and your hamstrings. and your calves especially, right? But once you get used to it, it's actually quite a comfortable exercise. So eventually you want to progress on this with only doing one leg jumps, one leg pogo jumps. I'm not gonna do that today because again, yesterday I did 10 kilometers of running. Today is kind of my recovery day for the rehab exercises as well. So let's go. Okay, so these are the exercises that I'm using to overcome my ankle injury. And yeah, I've really noticed, especially with the calf raises, for example, that when I do this, my ankles become more upright, they become more straight, and they basically become stronger. So what I'm doing to overcome my injury is basically I take a moderate approach to running. Obviously, I run to the point that it does not hurt, and then in the meantime, I'm trying to become stronger at these exercises. So it's very difficult to gauge PRs with the balancing stuff. Like, are you gonna balance for 30 seconds or 35 seconds? That doesn't really matter. The quality matters in that case. But when it comes to calf raises, when it comes to pogo jumps, you can really measure the PRs, the PRs you're setting. I can do 20 calf raises today and 25 tomorrow, and so that's something that I try to, beat myself on a regular basis. I try to improve upon on a regular basis, and that's how you see your ankles becoming stronger. And then naturally, because the weak part, the weak link in your chain has become stronger, you are now also able again to do whatever exercise you were doing before that was hurting. So for me, if I get stronger ankles, I notice immediately, or I notice in about a week, right, that I'm able to run more. I'm able to run more in a pain-free manner. And so that's kind of how I'm approaching it, but of course, in a very slow and patient manner. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I am still gonna do some push-ups, but well, I guess you've seen those before, so doesn't really matter. Tomorrow I'll see you for, I don't know, perhaps another push. Yeah, push day actually. Yeah, it's gonna be a push day. We're getting back to push-ups. Damn it, I wanna get those 1,000 reps. I'll see you tomorrow.